Hi guys and welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make a raspberry ripple cake slice. Let's begin. To get started on the recipe, you'll want to go ahead and grab yourself a mixing bowl. Then into the mixing bowl place in your room temperature butter, or warm it up if it's not quite room temperature. Then add in your sugar and beat together until they are lighter and fluffier in colour and consistency. It should be quite fluffy at this point, so around 5 to 7 minutes would work really well. But again, you might need more or less time depending on the climate that you're living in. Then add in your eggs one at a time, beating while in between each addition. Being careful to not add the eggs too quickly, as otherwise you might split or scramble the mixture, which is not ideal. So just take your time, add them one by one, and as you add the eggs you'll notice the consistency changes and becomes looser. Add your vanilla, mix that until it's fully incorporated. Once it's incorporated, give the bowl a good scraping down. This is just to incorporate any bits that may not have been fully worked in from earlier on, so don't forget to scrape the top and the bottom of the bowl. Especially on this mixing bowl for me, it never fully incorporates at the bottom, so I have to keep scraping it, but hey, that's my problem, not yours. Then go ahead and add in your dry ingredient, which is your flour and your flour, salt and baking powder. Then mix together on a low speed, working up to a medium-high speed, and mix until you have a clear batter. Add in a little bit of milk if needed to help with the consistency. Then give the bowl its final scraping down, and this is again just to incorporate any bits of dry ingredients that may not have been fully worked in. But in the process you can also add in some fresh raspberries or from some frozen raspberries if that's what you've got, and just mix them in until they are fairly distributed throughout the batter. Grab a 9x9 inch square baking pan which has been lined with some parchment paper. Then place the batter into it and just spread and level that out as best as you possibly can. It doesn't need to be perfect, but the more consistent you get it, the better it will bake all over. Then place dollops of homemade raspberry jam on top, and then just swirl that throughout, and believe me, this makes a difference when you're eating the cake later on. You'll get a tart little bit of raspberry which just works so perfectly for this recipe. So while your cake is baking in the oven, you can go ahead and make the buttercream. Grab yourself a mixing bowl and place in your egg and egg yolks, then whisk them on a high speed until they are lighter and fluffier in colour and consistency. They should also increase in volume. This takes a little bit of time, so while you're waiting for that to come up, you can also do the hot liquid mix. So grab yourself a saucepan and place in the sugar and water, whisk until combined, then place on the hob and allow it to come up to 121 degrees. While you're doing this, your egg mixture will be getting lighter, so just keep it on a high or very high speed and just whisk until it reaches, looks like this. It should almost be just like an off-white, is what you're looking for. Then add in the hot liquid mix, and be careful not to get this on your skin as it will burn, and believe me, been there done that, it's not fun. Then just whisk until you can touch the bottom of the bowl with the back of your hand. And when you can do that, you can then start to add in your butter chunk by chunk until it's fully incorporated. You may find that it doesn't look like it's coming together, but then in the last few pieces of butter, it does just come together weirdly well. Then here you go, that's your buttercream made. It's really quick and easy. Give the bowl a good scraping down. This is just to incorporate any bits that may not have been fully worked in from earlier on. I made a double batch, but only needed half of what I actually made, so I used half for this recipe and half for another. But into the half that I kept back for this recipe, I added some raspberry jam. I will leave the amount that I used in the blog post, so don't forget to check it out. And just whisk that in until it's fully incorporated. It should become this pretty pink colour. Once it is, you can then go ahead and put that into a piping bag with a nozzle of your choice. Then cut your cake up into as many or as few pieces as you'd like. I went with 8, but feel free to go with more or less to suit your occasion. You could cut these into half again and then get 16 portions, but again, that's up to you. How you pipe on them is up to you. I don't really want to tell you how to do that. I just did this kind of zigzag pattern and also some blobs, but you do you and whatever works best for you. Again, you know what you want to do. Then, when it comes to decorating, I'm just using up what I've got in the cupboards. So I had these mini white chocolate chips and raspberry pieces, and I just put them on one side, and then on the other half I used some fresh raspberries. Don't know why, but I had such an influx of fresh raspberries, which never happens normally. They're not my favourite berry, but for in cake, they work really well. The tartness comes together really well with the sweetness of the cake. So just keep that in mind. If you don't like tart, you will not like this. Here's what they look like. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more from me, and I'll be back again soon with another recipe, so join me then. In the meanwhile, don't forget to check out the description. There'll be links to this recipe and links to my blog and links to all my social medias. But that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed. Bye guys.